tonight, as you can see, we do have a moon. It's probably a 3-day moon. It's April 30th, 2025. It's only 8:32 in the evening, but the moon has finally cleared the wall of the garage, and I thought we might have a look at it. I'm going to do some zoom in. It fills the whole screen at 100%. You can also set my focus a little better, perhaps, for tonight using the moon. It's a little more difficult with stars. But the moon, where I get the sharpest view of the craters, Mare Crisium in particular, is off to the 10 o'clock position. That looks about as good as it's going to get for the atmospheric instability. Thought I'd tell you what we're going to basically cover this evening. Those who have been following the astronomy thread know that I've been experimenting with eyepiece views and arrived at a mathematics of sort that can kind of sort of predict whether or not you can see certain galaxies. And that is, something just flew in front of the moon. Anyway, that is basically you add the average surface brightness in arc minutes to the overall brightness of the galaxy, and then divide by 2, and it gives you a value. And typically the last few nights, I've been holding direct any galaxies that turn out to be 12th, have an average brightness of 12. Ones that have an average brightness, let's say something like 12 plus 13.5, which would average out to 12.75, I haven't been able to glimpse at all, even on eye movement. And those in the 12.25 range I have been able to make out with averted vision, for instance. Now I'm going to go back to the Rounder series. And tonight we're going to start with a review of 2767 NGC. Then we're going to go on to NGC2768 to 2856. I'm hoping before I give up in this lunar cycle that I will get to 3000. Tonight we have several fairly bright NGC galaxies. NGC 2841 is the brightest. It's magnitude 9.2 with an average surface brightness per arc minute of 12.7, which means the averaged out brightness is magnitude 11. Quite easily made out in the eyepiece of a 6-inch scope. And I'll attempt to reproduce that a little bit tonight. Our faintest galaxy is actually quite bright as well. NGC 2814 has got an average, is magnitude 13.7, and I believe it's about the same in terms of average surface brightness, so overall 13.5 or 13.7. Anyway, I am trying to discipline myself to get through the galaxies as quickly as possible. And so I am going to pause now and wait for sky dark, which should be somewhere in about another 45 minutes. Well, it's now 9:15. The moon will be a factor. I'm only able to basically filter it out using the histogram. We're looking for NGC 2767. It was the last galaxy we viewed in the previous Rounder series. This one will cover 2768, etc. I already outlined that earlier. This is a visual 13.8 galaxy located at 9 hours, 10 minutes, 11.9 seconds, plus 50 degrees, 24 minutes, and 5 seconds in Ursa Majoris. Size of this galaxy is very small, 0.7 by 0.6 arc minutes. Its average surface brightness is 11.6. So in this case, if you average them out, it's going to prove out to be somewhere around magnitude 12.5. But a great deal of magnification would have to be used to image it, to see it at the eyepiece. I do believe the galaxy is located right in the center of the screen. I got a really good 3-star alignment done tonight, and everything fell into place quite nicely. Except the moon, of course. It's based on mathematical calculation. In an 18-inch scope, this galaxy forms the west vertex of a near equilateral triangle with NGC 2769, 3.8 arc minutes northeast, and NGC 2771, 4.6 arc minutes east-southeast. Remember, the last time out, we really started to have some serious confusion about directions on the screen. I hope we can suss that out better tonight. There were some variations with position angles associated with Steve Gottlieb's, and I'm sure his data is correct. Probably an issue on my on my part. All right. At 280x, it appeared moderately bright, fairly small, round, 0.6 arc minutes in diameter, well concentrated with a very small bright core. NGC 2762 lies 2.9 arc minutes west-northwest. Frankly, because I had to reset the histogram settings, I am not sure that we are going to be able to spend much time actually viewing anything, except the number of these galaxies are going to be fairly bright. One as bright as magnitude, I believe, 9.2. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the histogram till the moon becomes a factor at 100x. Oh, yeah, we're now seeing the galaxy right here. We may have to go ahead and just leave the histogram setting here because we were completely missing this galaxy in the previous settings. Moving on. Clearly, we are now seeing one of the brighter galaxies of the evening. In fact, this galaxy, NGC 2768, is visual magnitude 9.9 and quite large, 8.1 by 4.3 arc minutes. It's located in 9 hours, 11 minutes, 37.6 seconds, plus 60 degrees, 2 minutes, 15 seconds in Ursa Majoris. As I said, magnitude 9.9, large, 8.1 by 4.3 arc minutes, with an average surface brightness of 13.7 and a position angle of 95 degrees, something I hope to puzzle through this evening through a 14.5-inch scope done on April 1st of 2021 at 182x, bright, large, oval, 2:1 east-west, 4 by 2 arc minute, contains a very bright, large core with a very small, intense nucleus and an occasional stellar peak. A magnitude 10.5 star is 3.7 arc minutes northwest of center. There are several bright stars on the screen, so we can't orient using that. Moving on. What we're looking for now is NGC 2769. It's a galaxy in Ursa Majoris, 9 hours, 10 minutes, 32.2 seconds in right ascension, plus 50 degrees, 26 minutes, and 1 second declination. Visual magnitude 13.0, 1.7 by 0.4 arc minutes with an average surface brightness of 12.5. Its position angle is 146 degrees. Through an 18-inch scope done in 2010 at 280x, the northern member of a small group, WBL 206, with NGC 2771, 2767, NGC 2762, it appeared moderately bright and large, elongated 5:2 ratio northwest to southeast. What appeared was about 1.3 by 0.5 arc minutes. So roughly 80% of what the actual calculated visual size is. Gradually increases to a bright core and small, brighter nucleus, though there are no well-defined zones. Now I'm looking to determine which galaxy it is. The scope did move quite significantly. This may very well be it, but it looks as bright as the previous galaxy, and so I am a little suspicious of it. Well, in fact, for some reason, we retained the image of the previous galaxy on the screen, and now we're not seeing anyone whatsoever. This should be NGC 2769, and I was correct. That was the previous galaxy. All the data I previously cited for NGC 2769, magnitude 13, 1.7 by 0.4 arc minutes, average surface brightness 12.5 with a position angle of 146 degrees, applies to this image we are seeing before us now. And frankly, we're not seeing much of a galaxy anywhere on the screen. But we are looking for something magnitude 13.0 with an average surface brightness of 12.5. I'll back out just in case it's off axis. Nope. There are a couple of galaxies over here, but that's way out of alignment. And as I said, the scope gave a very good centering earlier during the 3-star alignment than earlier in the earlier day. Could have been drift, however. Here we should be seeing NGC 2771 in Ursa Majoris, 9 hours, 10 minutes, 39.8 seconds, plus 50 degrees, 22 minutes, and 47 seconds. Galaxy is visual for 12.7 with an average surface brightness of 14.1, 2.2 by 1.9 arc minutes. Not getting very applicable a view. Could be the moon, it could be a lunacy, but there is a few galaxies right in this region here. Through an 18-inch scope in 2010, Steve says moderately bright, elongated 2-to-1 southwest to northeast, 1.2 by 0.6 arc minutes. This is a brighter bar, and I missed the lower surface brightness halo. Contains a well-defined small bright nucleus. This galaxy is slightly fainter than NGC 2769, 3.4 arc minutes north-northwest with a roughly perpendicular orientation. Well, 3769 should have been the previous galaxy, and it should also be on this screen. There is this nice Egeon over here. We have zoomed in 100%. It's possible things are drifting around a bit. There's another galaxy here. So let's go ahead and center them up. Plus a fairly bright galaxy right at this location. Unfortunately, I can't be sure. They should have been closer to the center of the screen, but there are several galaxies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the screen at present, and I personally cannot swear to which is which. Possibly one of the reasons we're losing the galaxies is we aren't getting the low power views. What we're seeing here is obviously NGC 2787. It's a 10.8 magnitude galaxy, 3.2 by 2 arc minutes. At right ascension, 9 hours, 19 minutes, 18.5 seconds, plus 69 degrees, 12 minutes, and 11 seconds in Ursa Majoris. Through a 17.5-inch scope of 1991, Steve describes it as bright, fairly small, slightly elongated 4 to 3 northwest to southeast, 2 by 1.5 arc minutes, even concentration to a very small, very bright core. Quite descriptive. I'm going to zoom in on it so we can get a chance to look at it. We did a straight-in zoom. It's still in the field at 130%. Typically, I stop right about here, 100%. Okay, let's do the zoom in again. I am seeing a kind of an Egeon galaxy there, but typically galaxies have been turning up in this part of the field. I really would like to be able to expedite this process. There is a faint galaxy here. We're looking for NGC 2800, 9 hours, 18 minutes, 35.2 seconds, plus 52 degrees, 30 minutes, 52 seconds in declination, Ursa Majoris. Fairly bright galaxy, 12.8, size 1.2 by 1.0 with a surface brightness of 13.1, a position angle of 15 degrees, through 17.5 in 1997, fairly faint, small, slightly elongated 40 by 30 arc seconds, contains a very small, slightly brighter core. Now, what are we seeing here on the screen? Well, we do have this Egeon, but I don't think that is our baby. There is a fainter flux of luminosity located right at this position. No claims whatsoever to NGC 2800. We should be seeing NGC 2805, and the part of the screen I suspect is associated with this faint, somewhat Egeon galaxy at some 50 to 60x. Zooming in, we have something seriously Egeon there and there and there, but I suspect this is our galaxy, but we will not know until we read the information on it. NGC 2805 in Ursa Majoris, 9 hours, 20 minutes, 20.4 seconds, plus 64 degrees, 6 minutes, and 10 seconds. There's a visual magnitude 11. Okay, Let's get some more information. 6.3 by 4.8 arc minutes with an average surface brightness of 14.6. Position angle of 125 degrees. We just had some kind of a passage. Through a 24-inch scope in 2014, moderately bright, very large, contains 30-second arc-second size brighter core and a huge halo extending up to 4 by 3 arc minutes northwest to southeast. Halo has a fairly low surface brightness but is slightly mottled, hinting of H2 regions. All right. Well, I'm not seeing much that would be associated. But here we have the part of the screen where we expect to see it, and we are seeing a faint fuzzy core, but not nearly to the degree of detail that Steve described in his notes. But we are dealing with a moon, although the sky is quite nice. I could play with the histogram slightly, and that does bring it out, doesn't it? So I'm dropping the histogram to the left. All right, we're going to have to light up the screen a little bit, and it is revealing far more of this galaxy. So we're going to pretty much have to stay with this approach, a luminous background for the evening. Okay, a quick zoom in on NGC2810, which is quite apparent on the screen. Let's go to our 100% value. We're seeing a little drift. Things have been turning up largely over here, but I suspect this is our galaxy, an elliptical face on. NGC 2810 is at 9 hours, 22 minutes, 4.5 seconds, plus 71 degrees, 50 minutes, and 38 seconds. Ursa Majoris. And yes, visual magnitude 12.2, size 1.7 by 1.7 arc minutes, and an average surface brightness of 13.4. This is a 17.5-inch scope done in 1991, described as fairly faint, small, round, bright core with a stellar nucleus. That is probably a very good description of NGC 2810. We're tracking down NGC 2814 now. There are several galaxies in the field. Both these three galaxies are all in the realm that we would expect NGC 2814 to turn up. There are some beauties here. Two very spectacular edge-on galaxies, and I'm going to shift slightly so we can see all three of them in the field. Actually, I see a fourth, fifth, and sixth, seventh galaxy. Wow. NGC 2814. Let's see if we can pick it out. 2814 is located in Ursa Majoris. It's at 9 hours, 21 minutes, 11.5 seconds, 64 degrees, 15 minutes, 6 seconds. In declination, visual magnitude 13.7, 1.2 by 0.3 arc minutes. So it's going to be the smaller of those two edge-on galaxies. All right, bright core bulges slightly. Tapers at the tips, spindle-shaped. Magfort 11.4 star is 1.1 minutes south-southwest of center. Ooh, now we know where south-southwest is. It's up and to the right, where I expect it. Just off the southern tip, forms a striking pair with edge-on NGC 2820, 4 arc minutes to the east. Along with NGC 2820A, NGC 2805 lies 10 arc minutes to the south and the west. Okay, this is 2805. We had this view before. Look at that lens, that mirror shaped right there, articulated around it. This is probably our galaxy, which is 2814. This other longer galaxy is located here and has a neighbor tipping it. I would have to go ahead and just label everything to get everything straightened out in the manana. Some great views there, and boy, the histogram settings do play a huge role, especially on a moonish lit night. Here we're looking for NGC 2816, and there's a very large brightish galaxy in the field, but we don't know that this is, in fact, what we're looking for. NGC 2816 is 9 hours, 21 minutes, 45.6 seconds, plus 64 degrees, 15 minutes, and 29 seconds in Ursa Majoris. Visual magnitude 12.8 with a size of 4.1 by 0.5 and an average surface brightness of 13.4, position angle of 59 degrees. That is probably our baby. So we'll go ahead and push it up to 100%, centering it in the field. Let's see what the description is. Let's just start with our own. Not unstar-like, but brighter core, well distinct from its core region, with a slight aura. Looks like it's pretty much north-south declination, at least as far as I can tell. It has some neighboring faint galaxies to the south. Okay, so that's 2816. There is no description of this galaxy added to 2816. Let's move on to 2820. Good thing we came up with our own description. Oh, by the way, there are H2 regions apparent in this 12.8 magnitude galaxy. Let's start with NGC 2820. And if it's that edge-on galaxy, that is incredibly sharp. It's at 9 hours, 21 minutes, 45.6 seconds, plus 64 degrees, 15 minutes, and 29 seconds in Ursa Majoris. That is our edge-on galaxy. 12.8 magnitude, 4.1 by 0.5 arc minutes. That's an 8-to-1 aspect ratio, very severe. Surface brightness 13.4 and a position angle of 59 degrees. Through a 24-inch scope done in 2014, Steve describes it as fairly bright, very large, very thin edge-on, with a 7-to-1 aspect ratio oriented west-southwest to east-northeast. He's seeing about 2.8 by 0.4 arc minutes of it. Has a very weak concentration, mottled appearance, though the surface brightness is not that high. However, we will zoom in to 100% and see that this is the brighter of the edge-on galaxies we imaged earlier in association. That is quite an extraordinary view, and I really do appreciate. So I'm going to push the magnification a little bit higher. Wow. It actually has 2, possibly 3 neighboring galaxies to NGC 2820. Here we're having a look at NGC 2841, potentially this really brilliant galaxy located here, but let's confirm that. Oh yeah, that is it. NGC 2841 is at 9 hours, 22 minutes, 2.3 seconds, plus 50 degrees, 58 minutes, and 35 seconds. There has been appreciable drift across the screen since I did the 3-star alignment over an hour ago. This is the brightest galaxy of the evening with a visual magnitude of 9.2 and a size of 8.1 by 3.5 arc minutes, average surface brightness 12.7, should easily be turned up through a 6-inch scope at the eyepiece and a position angle of 147 degrees. I am going to go ahead and do the zoomy thing with this so we can see if we can make out some nice H2 regions, centering it up. It's kind of off to the right-hand side of the screen and continuing to 90%. We can see that it is quite a beautiful, oblately tilted galaxy. And I'll give you the information as recorded by Steve Gottlieb. NGC 2841 through a 14.5-inch scope at 182x. Very bright, large, elongated 5-to-2, northwest to southeast, roughly 5 by 2 arc minutes. Strong concentration with a very bright core and an intense nucleus that sometimes reaches a stellar peak. I think we're overwhelming any kind of stellaricity there. The east side of the galaxy, beyond the core, is strongly affected by a dust lane. Oh yeah, we can see the dust lane. As the surface brightness is noticeably lower than